Have you ever dealt with allowing the influence of others or words that are spoken over you, maybe growing up as a child, or have you dealt with that and it's affected you in a negative way?
Absolutely. So growing up, it's kind of difficult for me to talk about this only because I'm past it. And sometimes when you talk about it, people that are still there think that you're still there, but It's just a part of my story. So
I'm on a journey to discover, uncover, and recover love.
Life is about helping others. Dear Future Wifey has been doing exactly that.
You stated that women are to present and not to pursue.
It has given us a roadmap on how relationships were meant to be by God.
There are still Black men who love the Lord and their end goal is marriage.
Thank you for teaching me how to stay lit, how to be intentional and transparent.
You read your letter, I cried.
I just got married 2 months ago, and I'm listening to the podcast so I can stay married.
I'm Lateris R. Whitfield, and this is Season 4, These Dating Streets, on the Dear Future Wifey podcast. Welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. I'm your host, Lateris R. Whitfield. Man, we're about to wrap up these dating streets. So excited to have today's guest on the podcast. This is my homie. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hey, listen, those of you who have been contributing to Kingdom Royale, thank you so much. Hopefully y'all saw the new update video where we were able to purchase a tractor to begin to mow the land and cultivate the land. Yeah, it's time for me to go from a city boy to a country boy. So I'm going to take y'all all on this journey. Well, today's guest, this is a familiar face. You've seen her on TV. You know her family. They've served us some of the greatest music in gospel history. Without further ado, welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. My homie, GooGoo Atkins. How you doing, girl?
I am good. Thank you for having me.
Man, listen. Man, see, one thing y'all need to know about GooGoo, she is so cool. What you see on camera is who she is off camera, just a great soul. And I was telling you that a minute ago. I was like, you know what? I really like you. I said, you're a really dope individual.
Thank you. Yeah, he said that in real life, not just in front of the camera. But thank you, because you're dope as well.
Thank you so much. So she and I have been communicating since, what was that, December?
I think so.
Yeah, about December. And I said, I got to get you on the podcast. And this is a perfect episode. Today's episode is titled Guard Your Ears. Mm-hmm. So we're deep into the Guarded series, and guard your ears. And you came to town yesterday for what?
For Anita's birthday, our friend.
Yeah.
Anita's 45th, yep.
Shout out to Anita. It was funny because I said we were on the way coming here today. We were talking about this particular song that was that was playing, and you started bobbing a little bit, and then I started dancing, and then we heard the lyrics, and I was like, we both stopped.
Yeah, it was like, no, I'm not dancing to this guy.
It was called what? Some bad bees and this and then there was a line where he said she washed a vagina or something like that.
But he didn't say vagina.
I know.
Yeah, he got really explicit. I'm like, don't we all? But it was just.
And we stopped. So that's a clear reference of guard your ears, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But for real. So
GooGoo, when you hear guard your ears, what does that mean to you?
You hear people all the time talking about protect your energy.
Right.
I think that's a part of it. It starts, that's a part of protecting your energy, protecting what goes in, what you internalize, because sometimes we act like, what are the words? Something don't hurt. Words
sticks
don't
and
hurt.
stones may break my bones, but words
but they do.
Oh, they hurt.
And they stick.
Yes.
And words are life-giving. And the Bible says that the power of life and death lies in the tongue. And between life and death, you're living. And so all of these proclamations that we make daily with our mouths, we make them in our mouth, they go through our ears, or what we allow people to make over us. It's just super important to make sure you're not taking in everything, you're not listening, you're protecting your ear gates at all costs.
That's what they say, your ear gates and eye gates.
Yes.
That's when you've been raised in the church. You say the ear gates and the eye gates. And so have you ever dealt with that? Have you ever dealt with allowing the influence of others or words that are spoken over you, maybe growing up as a child or as a teenager or whatnot, what you hear, because we hear a lot of messaging in the world, and have you dealt with that and it's affected you in a negative way?
Absolutely. So growing up, it's kind of difficult for me to talk about this only because I'm past it. And sometimes when you talk about it, people that are still there think that you're still there, but it's just a part of my story. So this part of the story, growing up, my father had favorites and I wasn't one. And my father was a great man. I don't think he said, oh, let me be as unkind as I possibly can be to my daughter. He didn't say that. He was just rolling with the ones that he liked, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The most. And I have a big personality, and I might have got on his nerve. You know what I mean?
I might have.
So I wasn't his favorite, and I knew that. And I remember one time I wrote my mom a letter and was like, "Ma, Daddy don't like me." And there was something always in the inside of me that stood up for me. And I was like, "Mama, I'm just gonna give it to you straight. I'm 11. Daddy don't like me. And I know he don't, and I'm his daughter, and I have to go over and beyond to I try to be quiet in school, and that was probably hard for me. I try to do everything I can to get him to like me. He don't like me, blah, blah, blah. So I said, and don't say nothing to Daddy, because I'm just talking to you because I just, need somebody to talk to. So she said something to Daddy, because a few days later, Daddy said, and you wonder why somebody don't like you.
Oh, wow.
So this is not me conjuring up, I think my dad, it was what it was. So again, I'm past that place. But at that moment, there was something that, how Paul says, I've learned to be content whatever state I'm in. Yes. It was just like duck for cover and ride it through, because something that you feared was something, it is something. Yeah. And, but those words stuck with me for so long, because I was like, this man don't like me. You know what I mean?
He never said why?
So he didn't wake up every day and say, let me be mean to my daughter.
Yeah, you just
felt it. It wasn't
it.
that. I just felt it. You know how when somebody gets on your nerve and that person is not mature enough, like let's say a teacher, or example, they're not mature enough to, hey, they can get on your nerve. They don't have to know that they get on your nerves. You get what I'm saying? You be more mature. Well, he wasn't at that time in his life. And, so he didn't wake up every day and say, let me be mean to her. But it was just that undertone. I knew if something were to happen, GooGoo probably did it. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. So those words stuck with me. And so even now I am... And there was a couple of other things that happened here and there, but I'm a little triggered by a man who doesn't protect me in that way, like who doesn't cherish me. You know what I mean? So, and I didn't realize that was a trigger until like just having conversations with my sister. But so to answer your question, yes, that's happened, and those words stuck with me for a long time.
That's good. Thank you for sharing that. When you think about it, this is a relationship-driven podcast, and I'm glad you segued into something that happens, because I always believe that something that happens in our upbringing from a parent standpoint, then it can affect you from relationships. So how have you seen that transcend throughout relationships?
I remember I was dating this guy, and we were both young, we were both immature, and he got popular before I got popular. And he would go on social media and he would say, my ex this, my ex that. We was church stars. Let me just say it like that. Everybody knew he was talking about me. And I felt bullied. I felt very unprotected. I felt bullied one time. So let me go back. I was in the second grade, and my teacher, Miss Westland, was a very mean lady. And I think I got on her nerve too. And again, I own my stuff. I got what it takes to get on a person's nerve. I don't be meaning no harm, but I can imagine this personality at 7
it was a big personality.
Yeah, and it wasn't as culture, I kind of got it under wraps now, right? Or got a little better handle on it.
The times when IG don't put you in IG jail.
Yes.
We got to talk about that. She always getting in IG jail.
Always. But anyway, so my dad comes to talk to Miss Westland. Miss Westland is mean to me. And I'm like, I know that my dad is going to see that she's being unkind to me. As an adult, I can see what she was doing. She was like picking on me, and I was talkative and had this big personality. Not talking crazy, not talking bad, because I knew I was going to get a whooping. I just kind of danced to the beat of my own drum, and I would just be, I don't know, like I wasn't being bad. I was just being different. And I can understand that in a setting where you want control, that can be a problem. So I understand Miss Westland, but Miss Westland was the teacher and I was the child. Yeah. And so I never should have felt bullied and signaled out by her. So Daddy is going to come and watch. Daddy is about to see. I'm 7 now. Daddy is about to see that Miss Westland is blah, blah, blah. So when I see them together talking, I'm like, well, they look like they friends over there, but okay. I know she gonna say something because Miss Westland is mean, and she gonna say something, and he gonna see that, you know, she mistreats me and she's unkind to me, and she was shooting me this vibe, and she would giving me this, you get on my nerve type of energy, and so, you know, I'm at school 8 hours a day, and I'm dealing with this mean lady like this, right? So my dad, I hear them being chummy, and I was like, okay, I didn't expect that. And then Miss Westland says, yeah, because sometimes I just want to slap the hell out of her. And then they both laugh. And I feel so unprotected.
Yeah.
Like my protector let this person be mean to me. And like even right now, that is like,
I know you can feel it.
Unprotected, man.
Yes.
So I think that when a gentleman doesn't protect me in that way, I kind of, you know, it kind of may go a little further, only because my original protector wasn't always what he should have been.
Yeah.
Now, again, we grew past that. Please don't build a story against my dad or anything, but this is my truth. It happened, and I should be able to share it,
100%.
you know. And so, so when the gentleman was acting a fool on
well, let me just say this before you
Twitter.
start. This podcast is a very safe space. So we have very emotionally intelligent people who understand that when people are telling their truths, that you accept their truths, you respect their truths, because the hardest thing to do is for someone to sit on a platform as large as this and share their truths and then fear the judgment of it. We don't do that here on the Dear Future Wifey. We the Lit Fam, we protect our, you know, we understand our guests don't have to be here. And so I thank you for, you know, being open. But go ahead, continue.
So thank you.
Yeah.
And so when my ex was doing that, like, it just literally ripped my heart out. I was like, so you just throwing me out there to the wolves, like all your little girlfriends, and they sending stuff, and they had this thing called Spring Forum where people could ask you questions anonymously. I got the nastiest, most evil questions. You know what I'm saying? And the ha-has and I just felt bullied. And I feel like people overly use that word nowadays because people just don't like you. They ain't bullying you. They just don't like you. But I was bullied. I was bullied because you're doing that. And, you know, I felt like Creepy Carrie. They're all going to laugh at you. And they was laughing. You know what I'm saying? And again, he was immature. I was immature too. I had my things too. I didn't tell my part. Now, I didn't take to social media because I had a following he had. But I just know even with the following, I never want to do that to anybody and kind of hurt them. But yeah, he would kind of say stuff, and you know you being nasty. You know you being mean. And you know that everybody is thinking about me when you say those things, because he made it very clear, you know, who his girlfriends were not, because he had a whole bunch of little friends. So I'm like, but I felt bullied. And I just know that looking back now, that really affected me, because that protection thing is a big thing for me.
Did you ever have a conversation with him and say, hey, can you please stop doing that?
Well, he was like, I didn't say your name. You know what I'm saying? So I don't waste time with somebody who doesn't want to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? Lateris, if we have a disagreement and we go back and forth for 10 hours, I will go to bat with you.
So did you ever talk to your ex and let him know how that was affecting you?
You know what, Lateris, when a person ain't taking accountability, I don't have time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, of course, I said something because, again, I stand up for myself. And I was like, hey, you know, and we have been broken up for a minute. And I was like, hey, when you say my ex, you know, they're talking about, they're thinking about me. They don't know who I'm talking about. Okay, fine. Because you can't make somebody be accountable. I'm not going to force you to care. I'm not going to force you to own whatever. And we can have a disagreement, Lateris, and we can go, you and I, because you're intelligent. We can go back and forth for 10 hours until I get you to really understand, and you get me to understand. Maybe I have to give a whole lot of backstory or whatever, but it's like we have a common goal. We want to understand each other. We want to fix it. We don't just want to argue. And so this person wanted to be right. Okay, you're right. You know what I mean? But, you know, the seeds you sow is what's going to grow. So that, you know, and I have to walk away knowing that some people ain't going to be sorry. You know, some people are so hurt behind maybe their relationship ending that they got to do all. I don't have time for that. And he ain't want to be sorry. So, you know what? You ain't got to be.
So you don't want to be sorry. How many years ago was that? How old were you during that time? Because you kept talking about how we were young and immature.
Well, I'm 43 now. I was like 27.
So you felt like you were still really immature at the age of 27?
I don't think I was really immature, but for who I am now, it looks really immature. But I was never I was always mature for my age. I have a lot of older siblings, but I don't think that I was immature. Yeah. I just didn't know. I mean, if you could tell, I got mouth. Yeah. And the woman that got mouth, we have this, God made us the way we are, right? And it's my power has to be used for something. And so what I like to use my power for is building up. And so I'm long-winded. You know that because we've been on the phone before. Yeah. You
I am
said,
too, though.
Okay, you said really.
I'm saying
really
I mean that we both. Listen, I like to talk, so we be on the phone. We be talking for hours
about everything. Yeah,
so I like it. That's why I was like, I like her.
So
that's why I said I went on the podcast. Let's talk.
So I will. I realize that there's a way to say everything. A lot of stuff don't even have to be said once you sit down and think about it and pause and be like, you know what? I ain't got to address that. You know what I mean? But where was I going to go with that?
About having a lot of mouth. You said I have mouth.
So I use my power for good. I'm witty. I can come back quick. I can create some stuff. And so what I learned about when Spider-Man was joining the Avengers, he was 14. And he didn't know how to use his power. He was webbing people that didn't deserve to be webbed. I was like, that's their car. They wasn't breaking in the car. That was he was at the ATM machine thinking people was robbing and they weren't because he didn't know. He was misusing his power, but it was because he didn't know. He just wanted to help.
Teach.
So I remember when I was 30, I was like, God, why? Is this a curse? What is this? Is this my thorn in the flesh? What is this mouth situation? Because it's not cool.
Yeah.
It may be funny to some people. It may appear to be strong to some people, but in a lot of instances, it's a defense mechanism and it's not cool. But nonetheless, I got it. I can get you off of me real good. Yeah. And that's what the Lord, I went and saw that movie not too long after that. And the Lord just put in my spirit, you have to know how to cultivate it and you have to know how to use your power like Spider-Man for good. But sometimes you have to pause a little bit and assess the situation and know if you're going to approach it and how to approach it. And so with that being said, I'm sure you would much rather me be long-winded telling you how much of an amazing host you are, how much of a great job you're doing with this podcast, how you're using your platform to glorify God. I'm sure I can go on and on and on and you would never call me long-winded.
Yeah, no.
But if I said, I don't like them glasses, and you know what? The way you be doing your hands look stupid. Or even if I say it in a kind way, you could use less of that and more of the other. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like all the quick comebacks and witty, and whatever, I want to use it to build up and to help and to restore if I can.
That's good. That's good. When did this self-awareness come?
I don't know. It just kind of arrived. I used to have really low self-esteem growing up. I mean, I had the fat girl stories. Nobody liked me, and you think nobody likes you for the reason that you don't like you, but you don't realize it that they don't like you because you don't like you.
Hold on. You gotta hold on, GooGoo. I can't let you drop a gem like that and people have to understand that. I want you to say that one more time.
People like you when you like you. I'm a happy person, Lateris. And you said, do guys be coming in your DMs? I was like, yeah. And
because we're attracted to light. We're attracted to that light. And if you don't like yourself and you negative towards yourself, we be like, well, we'll just double down on what you feel about yourself.
Exactly. And people, like you said, we're attracted to light. You just ain't happy.
Yeah.
And you assume that because your insecurity is your weight or your height or your edges or your money or you make that everybody, first of all, it's a little narcissistic to think that folks is thinking that much about you. They don't care that much to judge you all the way down. Anybody doing that has a mental problem. 100%. I ain't paid that much attention to you, Lateris, to judge every single thing. I ain't even looked.
Yeah.
If your fingernails is ashy, I hadn't noticed. You know what I'm saying? So anybody paying that close attention is something's weird about that. Exactly. It's a weird admiration. Okay. But anyway, people, I remember this guy named
your
Jason
fingernails
Sharp.
Are ashy.
I didn't notice because I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking for a flaw or whatever. We just conversing.
Yeah.
And people that look for that, that's just a sign of insecurity.
Yes.
I remember the finest boy in our whole school. His name is Jason Sharp. What up, Jason? If you're watching this, he used to date my friend Fedge, my best friend, and so they were liking each other in high school. And so, but Jason Sharp. The reason why I can say that is because he was always cool. He wasn't like a meathead, rude type of guy, whatever. So we graduated from high school, and I would say I was about 25 or so. And he was like, man, Fedge, I saw Thomasina, and she's beautiful. She lost all this weight. I ain't lost all that weight. I didn't. When you my size and you lose 20 pounds, that's nice. But you need to lose about 50 before you put a dent in this thing, right?
All that weight.
So I said, Fedge, it's not that. I like me. He saw a different Thomasina when I was in high school. And yeah, I lost some weight. Yeah, I'm feeling better. And actually, I started losing weight when I started feeling better because I wasn't under so much pressure and torturing myself, you know. So I began to love myself, and it showed in how I like to work out and exercise and eat better or whatever. So I lost this weight. I said, Jason, that is so nice to know that the finest boy in high school thought that I'm attractive. You know, that's good. Even though, you know, I can't like you because you're my best friend. But, you know, this is just good to know, you know.
Oh, let me ask you this. Is that off limits? Like if your friend...
They dated in high school. At this point, she had been married. My best friend got married at 21, so she had been married. And I think she kind of saw him on Facebook, and they were just kind of catching up or whatever. But no, no. Not my best friend. And I want her, no.
So you wouldn't?
No. And I think everybody should have a top 5. Now, some people are real datey. You can't date everybody. Everybody's not off limits, sis. I'm sorry. You can't. I used to go with him. I used to talk to him. Okay, well, I'm talking to him now. Okay. So.
But that's only if the woman was just dating a whole bunch of people. But
give me your top 5. LaTerrence, Joe, Mark, Brian, and David. That's it.
They off limits, and everybody.
Juju is mine. But yeah, no, that's certain people like that. It's just I got a top 3, so I don't. You know, the rest of them you can have them. They're good dudes. I just, you know, we didn't work out, but it's certain ones.
But these certain 3, it'll bother you if you saw your homegirl.
You can't talk to him, and your cousin can't talk to him. In that order.
Even the cousin can't.
No, don't you introduce your cousin.
They off limits.
No. But anyway. People like you when you like you.
People like you when you like you, and the flaws that you point out about yourself. And if you don't like them, then other people are double down on it, and they don't like it either. They be like, well, I don't like that about you either.
Especially those people that are like manipulators, and they want to like control your emotions and stuff. You know, they use that against you.
Yep.
I ain't bringing up my weight. What's wrong with your weight? Nothing. I'm just fine. Like, I ain't bringing it up. You ain't gonna use that against me, old manipulator. Have me feeling
feeling out insecure and suicidal.
I don't, like, we all have things, areas of opportunity, I like to say, for us to work on and improve in. But I'm not beating myself up. Because what if I don't lose weight? That mean I lost 10 years being mad and I could have been happy. Because I'm never going to lose weight anyway. So just have a good time. Fat and all.
So when did that moment happen where you said, I love myself? I know you said after high school.
Well, I started praying, and I just took to God. I dealt with depression and stuff really young, like from 11. I remember I had some very, very, very dark thoughts at that age, suicidal. I was not going to share this, but I'm going to share it. I remember I was 11, and the devil told me that you're 11 years old. So if you went in a room and you stabbed your father or you killed him, you would get away with it because you're a kid. Ain't that wicked? Mm-hmm. I'd be sitting in jail to this day.
Yep.
But I just can't believe, like, the devil plants these ideas in our head. And I can't believe at 11, you gave me, that's a grown thought. Like, you know what I mean? And so, because I wanted to get rid of the hurt, and he was the source of, for me at that time, for hurt. So, so I came to a place. When did I come to the place you asked? I remember fasting and praying and like, God, this feeling. Not, I wasn't like just completely depressed from 11 all the way up until whatever, but at about 19, at about 19, I just was like, I didn't want to feel that feeling anymore. I didn't like the way that control felt over me. I knew it was the devil, and my pastor prayed for me, and I would be free for a minute, but I would walk back in it, because you think just because you're free that all of your extenuating circumstances are going to change. They're not. You have to change, and then you have to walk in that same wilderness and be different and conquer it internally. And so that outside stuff didn't change. My dad still could take me or leave me. And I just decided I didn't want to feel that feeling anymore. So I fought through, and I asked God to give me strength every step of the way.
I was talking to my son this week. God, it's interesting. Yeah. So me and my son, we were sitting down eating at the table, and he just got up. So I have a 18-year-old son that I adopted 2 years ago, Armani, and he's been on the podcast. We talk about him dealing with mental health and dealing with suicidal ideation and being in mental health hospitals or whatnot. But this past week, we were just sitting there eating, and he got up and walked off. And then I heard him crying in the room, and I was like, is he crying or what? What is his nose running? What? I just kept hearing him sniffling. I said, Armani, come in there. He came in there, and I was like, what's wrong? He said, I don't know. I said, were you crying? He was like, yeah. I said, what happened? We were laughing, we're talking about something, and you just got up and walked off and started crying. He said, well, I'm just thinking about all the negative stuff that my mom used to say to me. I said, but she's not even here. Like we're just sitting here talking. Like we're just
we didn't watch no negativity on TV.
Nothing. We just sitting here just talk like unrelated. We just laughing about whatever. And he got up and walked off. He said, what she said to me, I just hear it all the time. I said, how often do you have these episodes? I'm trying not to get emotional. I said, how often do you have these episodes where you just break down and cry? Like how often? He said, it's a lot. And I said, so you'll just be sitting in school and you'll cry? He was like, yeah, I'll just put my head down on the desk. Luckily, nobody sees me or whatever, but I'll put my head on the desk and I'll just cry, and then I'll wipe my face up, and then I'll continue on. I said, well, we need to combat that. And I said, so let's talk about how we can combat this. I said, we had this one guy on the podcast named Andre Notice, and he talked about, speaking words of affirmation over yourself. And he said, I try that, but I'm always saying negative stuff to myself. I hate the way I look. I hate my weight. I hate this. I hate that. And he says he speaks so much negativity to himself that any positivity that anyone says to them
like a lie.
Yeah, and he'd be like, why you even adopt me? Why he'll argue with me about why I adopted him to this very day. Why you adopt me? I said, Armani, first of all, God told me to. I love you. I understand your purpose. I this or whatever. He's like, but what's lovable about me? What's this? And I'll find myself fighting the negativity that he's speaking over himself. And so when we talking about guard your ears, I told him, I said, your biggest adversary is you. Which is why when you brought up what you brought up about how you said, shoot, I still look the same. It's just that the light that's radiating from my soul, now I appear to be different. Why? It's because the darkness has been lifted.
Yes.
And now you can walk away and walk through life with a glorious light, and people like, girl, you look, and I'm telling you, shoot. Like, plus size women, they still be pulling. Dudes be like, man, hey, let me holler at you.
And it ain't just the BBW enthusiast and all of that.
No.
And I'm not even being cocky. I'd never have if I walk in a room and like somebody, they like me back. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm not like, oh, maybe they'll pick, I'm getting picked. If I won't, it's going to happen. So, and I ain't even trying to be funny, but I think that's because I go get everything else I want. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, and so you attract, what you are or whatever. Yeah. And I'm happy and I'm friendly. And if I got to throw in some charm and stuff, I got that too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got that on lock. All you need is a couple of handsomes and a smile and you in there. So, but anyway, with that being said, like, again, I don't lead with what my insecurity is. And when you were talking, I was just thinking, like, people don't even know that something as small as words can change your life.
Everything.
Just the words. Do you know that I used to look in the mirror, and before all this affirmation stuff, all this whatever, again, I asked God to bring me out of that. And I asked God to show me step by step.
Good.
When I speak to people who are therapists, they say, who's your therapist? I've never had a therapist.
Yeah.
I think you should get one. I need one. I'm looking for one. But they say that because the way, and I'm like, oh, the Lord gave me that because I asked the Lord for that. So those of you that don't have a therapist, I'm not saying, I did not acknowledge that something was going on there, but I took it to God, and God helped me through those moments to the place where when I speak to the professionals, they think
that you did the work, that you did the work through a therapist, but God did the work
but God
in you.
did it. Yeah. And so
because you asked.
I asked. Yeah.
The Bible says, a man lack wisdom, let him ask. So if you need anything, you say, God, listen, I need you to help me through this.
Yeah.
I don't have any money to get a therapist. I ain't got this right now, but in the meantime, in between time, I need you to show up and help me, because if you don't, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
I used to look in the mirror, and I used to, before, like I said, all these affirmations thing before that became popular. I used to look in the mirror and I used to speak over myself, and I would be like, you are pretty. You are, you're smart. You're kind. You're thoughtful. You care about people. You really love people. You don't try to take advantage of people, and you be gossiping a little bit too sometime, but God is going to give me some strength. And sometimes you be kind of judging people in your head, but you know what? God help me with that. But I'll just be real honest. Yeah. And I speak all the truth of myself. And even those things that I didn't love, did you notice that I mentioned them, but from a place of God is working on me. I'm going to get better. It won't be like this always. But I just made it a point when I would talk in the mirror to myself, do you know I would cry because I would be looking at myself and I would literally hear the devil like laughing at me saying, you lying, you look stupid, that sound dumb. No, you don't. No, you're not smart. You didn't even go to college. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You wasn't that smart in school. You know what I mean? You the fat one, and you're the Eric and Tina have talent, and Lisa's the good girl, and Daddy likes Elena, and Shantae is anointed, and you're just GooGoo. You know what I mean? And it's like, so, the enemy will give me all these different contrary ideas, and we have to, first of all, shut up. Yeah. And then we have to stop just taking his idea and running with it. Yes. Just because, and I feel like so many people are living in a space because the devil presented an idea and they said, oh yeah, I am. You're a murderer. No, I'm not. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a this. I'm not that. That's not what the Bible says I am. I don't care what I feel like. I don't care what I've done, what my mama was. I'm not that. Because the word of God does not say that about me. And so when I was affirming myself, and so for anybody watching, it didn't feel truthful. But now, Lateris, you can't convince me that I'm not the stuff.
That you ain't the dopest woman walking on the face of this earth.
I mean, and I'm fully aware of my flaws. Thank you. I'm fully aware of my flaws. But God is with me. And just like I got over other stuff and things that I'm going to get over the rest. We're all works in progress. Like, what is this perfect thing that ain't nobody perfect? We all do dumb stuff. We all say the wrong stuff. We all out here just as vulnerable, figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? Just being brave enough to get our dumb butts up, keep trying again,
There it is.
But with that being said, like, I can't. People just won't believe. The Bible told us, they just don't believe how powerful your words are. Something as small as words will completely change your life. So I'm no longer saying I'm fat. I'm not that smart. I'm not that. Stop it. Stop. Don't say it in a funny way. Don't say it in a, sometimes when you get to that level of comfortability, you can kind of, but when you ain't there, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Only Thank you. Yeah. Only speak life over yourself, because the power of life and death lies in the tongue, and everything between life and death is living. Like this is where it's happening in real time. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to, in real time, every day, speak over ourselves, and then it'll become habitual, and then you'll believe it. Yeah. And then when somebody remind you, oh yeah, Google the fat one. Who? You mean Google the fine one? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't got to stump for the gram and say all that conceited little stuff or whatever under my post, because I'm too busy living it. Yes. I'm too busy really loving myself. And to he who much is given, much is required. So when you do have that light, when you do have that love, when you are likable, you don't want to make anybody else feel the opposite. So there's certain things like you don't flex. Like really, really rich people don't come saying, hey, look how rich I am, because they don't want the person that's not rich to feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how perfect my body is, because you know how it feels to feel imperfect, and you don't want anybody to feel bad. Teach. I'm not gonna not shine, but I'm not finna get out here and flex on people. I'm not doing it. God did not deliver me for me to flex on the people and make people feel like I'm better than them, because I'm not.
2 Timothy 4:3-4. I love it. For the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but having itching ears, they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions, and will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths. What does that mean to you?
What's going on right now?
Talk about it.
You know, if my teacher, or if the podcast host, or if the therapist or whatever, my pastor is saying something contrary to what I want to do, he's wrong. So let me go and find someone that's going to, make me feel better about what I'm going to do. And it kind of can become bullying, because those people are so busy fighting that truth that's inside of them, until now they're trying to force everybody else in the world to accommodate they mess the way they are. Yeah. Again, I'm not going out of my way to whatever, but sometimes just your life, just the way you live, is a rebuke to people. What I'm supposed to do, not live? The
way you live is a rebuke to people.
So I'm not going to, I always want to be teachable, learning sometimes it feels uncomfortable if I say something that's offensive and you got to have a conversation with me. I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I'm sorry. It's like a little, but you need to feel that, not the shame, not the condemnation, but you need to feel that little uncomfortableness so that you can get it together. And while I'm there, people are so busy not wanting to be accountable for their actions. They think everything is judging, everything is condemning. No, it's not. Sometimes, Lateris, people love you enough to say, hey, GooGoo is really dope, but right there, she be kind of jacking up. Now, you got your own life, your own issues, your own whatever. But because you love me and you care about me, you would say, Goo, hey, you know what? Sometime when you do da-da-da-da-da, and then that's the end of our friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, you done been good to me. We done kicked it all these years. And I didn't even take it to
one thing about you. Said it nice and grace and just constructive criticism. And you like, I don't like him no more.
And it's judging because I just don't want to change my ways. Like, I bind that spirit of offense. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, like, people sometimes love you enough to correct you. And no, it doesn't feel good. But they probably felt uncomfortable as Jack's, like, trying to bring that to you. But because it's like, nah, but I love her. Like, me and someone was having a conversation about somebody who has a business and it just needs to be a little more clean.
Yeah.
We love this person. Yeah. We love what they do. But that is a huge turnoff to a person who is really clean.
Yeah.
They don't get it because maybe they're not at that level of cleanliness yet.
Right.
So do we watch this person go down? Do we just leave? And it's like, dang, in every other way, I can tell they're trying to be excellent. So these are uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
Like, we love this person. So we got to find a way to say it. You know what I mean?
And that's what real friendship is. And that's why that scripture is so great where it says, will endure sound teaching, but having itching ears, they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions and will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths. It's like we want to believe the lie rather than the truth.
Yeah.
Whether that's spiritual.
We don't want to grow.
Yeah, that's not true friendship. This is the most popular scripture, Mark 4:23-24. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear. And he said to them, pay attention to what you hear. With the measure you use, it will be measured to you, and still more will be added to you. What does that mean to you?
I feel like you can't unknow it. When you know, you know. We single.
Yeah.
God, show me who I'm dating. One time in my whole dating experience, and I feel like my dating experience is like Eddie Murphy on Coming to America, where all them people came to the table. That's how my life has been. So I'm like, God, I said, show me who this person is. One time, he said he's showing you. That only one time. And we had a difference where actually he didn't want children and I did. And so that's that. But wonderful person. But he was showing me. There was no whatever. And so with that being said, I say, God, show me what this is. And so whatever that is, whether they're, have some triggers in this area, whatever it is, God shows me. And it's like, it stands out, not in a bad way, but it's like, you asked me to show you, this is what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is this what you want to deal with? Like, and when you asked me to show you, I showed you. And so you can't unsee it. You can't act like I didn't show you what you got. So if you want to move forward, because we all have something.
Yes.
We all have something. So I'm sure, just like I'm praying that prayer, God's son's saying, show me her. And they see that I'm whatever. Yeah. And so they're probably deciphering, do they want to deal with that? Is that something they want to? But we're all going to have something. But I said that to say, when I asked God to show me, I can't unsee what he showed me. But I'm definitely asking God because I don't want to be in no mess. I don't want to act like I didn't see nothing. I don't want to be okay with something that I ain't okay with. I want to make sure I'm applying the perfect amount of grace and love and, and be prepared for work. But it says you can't unsee what you sure enough saw. And not only is that, he's going to put some more with it. He said, so not only are you going to endure, maybe they fickle with the work. They work sometimes they don't. Yeah. Sometimes they're going to do that. And then they're going to still want the king of the castle treatment. They're going to still want the, make my dinner. They're going to still want the traditional stuff. So just know it's going to be this plus a little more. So I have to use it in relationship terms because that's how it
Listen, what you just said about you can't unsee it. Proverbs 20:12 says, the hearing eye and the seeing eye, the Lord has made them both. The hearing eye and the seeing eye, the Lord has made them both.
The hearing eye.
And the seeing eye.
I love it.
The Lord has made
them both. Yeah.
Because you got to be able to have them all under alignment. And sometimes we try to turn off our ear. Well, they really didn't say that. Well, they really didn't mean what they said when they said it. Well, I see him acting like this, but maybe it's not. God said, I gave you eyes. I gave you ears. I made that for you to be able to recognize. So a lot of times when we're going to God about asking for answers, it's amazing when you said, God said he's showing you. It's like,
he's showing, and it wasn't anything bad.
No, it was
just
alignment.
like, I think that I needed to see that sometimes I'll show you certain things because people don't, a lot of times, I'm gonna tell you something. My dating experiences has been pretty colorful, but I have met some amazing. I'm trying to be positive.
GooGoo, no, what you mean by colorful? No, I like words like that. I like words like colorful.
I told you, it was like Eddie Murphy and Coming to America. But I've met some amazing people. Actually, there just haven't been my people.
Right.
So everybody, I mean, some probably watching this. I ain't had no. First of all, I ain't finna endure no nuts. Like you ain't finna get on my. You ain't finna wear me out. So with that being said, like some people, it's like they cool, but it just didn't. There had to be something cool, something interesting, valuable, or something about them attractive that attracted me to them. It just wasn't, probably on the other end. It was something else, And
I always say that it's like breakups and relationships should just be that, where it's not. It don't have to be something bad that happens. It's just that you're not in alignment. You know what I'm saying?
And quit trying to force it. If it don't let it do.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you say I want, and that's a big issue when someone says I want kids, the other person, I'm not having kids. Then you try to fight that or whatever.
How are you going to fight that? You just going to trick them into a child? And so I've always been a person that thinks ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so then I come from a very loving family. And then I have a kid that this person never really wanted.
Yes.
And now first of all, you're imposing. Like,
yes.
They don't have to want it no matter how much you want. They don't have to want you. But no matter how much you want it. And I'm like, that's unfair. And people would say, well, it's your child. But he said he didn't want it. So that's not cool for you to play that little, oops, by the way, I got pregnant. And then you mad that he mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. And so I'm like, I'm going to have to part ways with this amazing person because I sure enough want me some kids. And if at 43 or 44, whenever I get married, I'm 43, I'll be 44 in May. If I get married at 44, they'll take all day. I want to have kids. And if I find that I can't have kids physically because of my age or whatever, I'm not stressing over that either. I ain't freezing my eggs. I'm not all them reasons to be anxious and be stressed. I'm not doing none of that. If I get there and it can't do, I'm going to go adopt some children. And that's how that's going to go.
Good.
Because I feel like now I can bless somebody. Now I can, a child that didn't have a loving environment, but now I can extend that to somebody and show them love and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we going to have people, I can hear people saying, well, you never know what you don't never know what you're going to get out of your own womb. Okay.
Let me tell you something. You know what? Gosh, I'm glad you said that. Cause that's one of the biggest issues that people have about adoption. They'll say, well, you don't know what you're getting. Well, first of all, even when I adopted my son Armani, all this stuff about suicidal thoughts wasn't a surprise. I had binders. They gave me all this stuff, show me his admittance and his leaving behavioral health hospitals. You have a whole record. You have the whole family history of different stuff. You get binders and they let you look over all that. They say, here, take as much time as you need to look over this stuff and let us know if you want the kid. Yeah. And even before looking at it, because God told me when I first met him to adopt him, it's a video on my page that talks about that. But God told me to adopt him. Then I was like, God already knows what it is. And you hit a key point where, these people like Jeffrey Dahmer and those type of people, them crazy people that go off and kill people. Them people wasn't adopted. They came from somebody's womb.
Regular mamas and daddies.
Yeah, and went and did whatever they did.
Yeah.
The Unabomber, all these people, they came from somebody's womb and they went and did what they did. And the truth be told is that maybe, just maybe, the love that you're able to share to that person who had the trajectory of becoming somebody that was a quote unquote at-risk youth, somebody that would grow up unloved, somebody that would grow up feeling like they have this chip on their shoulder and the world is their biggest enemy, so they're out to go hurt anybody that comes across their path because they never had a loving family, that you may change the trajectory of their lives and let them know that God still saw me.
And love never fails.
Talk about it.
Love covers a multitude of fault. And I just feel like love can change so much. Just having that love and that hope and knowing that someone believes in you. I heard about this story about a soldier who was on the battlefield and they were like, when he died, and they were checking what was on him, looking for his tags and stuff. And they saw an article from the first grade, not an article, a piece of paper from the first grade. All of the kids and his students, all the students in the class said what they liked about him.
Wow.
And he was carrying that with him to the battlefield from the first grade. So those words went into his ears and went into his heart, and it penetrated him to a point where he carried that as an adult. And when he died, that was one of the few things, of course, we know soldiers got on, they only have on them what's going to keep them alive.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me those words kept you going, kept you alive?
You preaching, GooGoo? You preaching?
Yeah, those words and loving people can go so far. So again, I'm not doing nothing in fear. And if God, even some, I don't know if God said it. All that, I don't. Just stop. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're going to make the wrong choice, and then God going to come later and help you and fix. People be marrying the wrong people. They know they did, and God honors marriage, so he came in and he blessed it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Or you have a child, whatever it is, we ain't getting it right. But I'm not going to live in fear and anxiety. If I can't have kids, I'm going to adopt one and extend a life to them they wouldn't have been able to have. I don't know what I'm getting, just like you don't know what you're getting. But guess what? I always got God. And so as long as I got God, we're going to get through whatever needs to be done. And I got the love, that life-changing love. And I believe that that's going to go far in someone's life.
Yeah. When you say about not knowing what you get, and that right there is just so beautiful, because there's so many people that, Nelson Mandela was adopted.
Wow.
So when you start talking about who you getting, Gabby Douglas was adopted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You start naming people that were adopted. Yeah, you don't know what you're getting, but you don't know that you may be adopting the next president of the United States. You don't know that you may be adopting someone that breaks the cure and solves the cure for AIDS. You don't, so we always think the negative way, but you don't know what you're getting also, and you may be raising up a Moses.
And again,
because wasn't Moses adopted?
Moses was adopted.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. And again, God is with you.
Or even a Jesus, because Jesus was adopted.
Jesus was. That's right. Joseph wasn't his biological daddy.
You know what I'm saying?
So I heard, I forgot who said this, but they said that a lot of African American people, when they start doing better in life, it's for them, and they don't reach back. And so we look at the Angelina Jolies and stuff like that. Why they getting black kids? Excuse me, you don't want that black kid to be in this loving, beautiful environment. Quit acting like, because you ain't got nobody. You know what I'm saying?
None. Just a bunch of wealth, and then it's like,
exactly. And I'm like, when we was growing up in the hood, everybody had cousins and stuff living with them. But when we start making a few dollars, don't nobody say, hey, let me go back and adopt some kids. Let me go back. And I'm like, dang, when I heard that, I was like, that's well, from where I'm sitting, it seems like it's true. I forget who the person was that was saying it, but so I think, from where I'm sitting now, of course, we all want to give birth and we want to have children. Well, I know I do. And if I get to that point and I physically can't, like from where I am now, and I haven't been told that I can't, from where I am now, and I pray that this brings peace to some people. From where I am now, I'm completely okay if I can't. Because I'm still going to be a mom. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And I have had such a blessed life that I refuse to take the one thing or whatever that I didn't have. And so let me go back. When we were coming up, everybody thought I would be the first married with 6 kids. Because I'm a nurturer. I love to cook. I love to nurture. I love house stuff. And most people don't know that about me, because I ain't trying to sell it to nobody. Yeah. Look, I'm a wife. Look what I can make some food. I ain't trying to, all the pregnant women, they love to come and be up under me because I'm going to spoil them. I love nurturing. So everybody thought I would be married first. But with all that being said, God has given me so much. If I cannot birth children, I still have no reason to complain. I think when we take it back to what we deserve as humans, what we deserve as Christians, is death on the cross. So anything above that is a blessing. You mean to tell me you let me do what I love for a living? You mean to tell me you let me travel the world? You mean to tell me you let me come from a loving family? You mean to tell me I'm in good health? You mean to tell me I'm able to be a light to people? You think I'm going to complain because of that thing that I couldn't do? And I have all this stuff that I did and did well. So if I can't have kids, I don't know yet, because I ain't obsessing over it. All my eggs is fried or gone, whatever the situation is. I'm not complaining. Now, I haven't been told that, so I don't know what it feels like. But I've had the conversation, and I won't let that anxiety beat me up and harass me. I'm like, I'm too busy having a good time to sit up and worry about that. When he coming. When the baby get here, the baby gonna get here. Whether we go to the store and get one, or whether we, give birth, it's gonna be a beautiful thing. And I'm not complaining either way.
But how do you guard your ears? How do you guard your ears from people saying... Yeah, how you guard your ears for the people that sit there and be like, you ain't had no kids yet? When you gonna have kids?
Yeah, I don't think people realize that we're in a spiritual war. And so sometimes we have to realize that some stuff is, like a lot of stuff is demonic. Some stuff is attacks. And that person don't mean no harm. Yeah. But society will make you feel like, oh, you're not this. Because they always coming up with ways for us to feel insecure and to be scared and to be stressed. And so we have to remember that there's no peace in that. So obviously God doesn't want me there. Right. Those thoughts God doesn't want, because that's not the Prince of Peace. You know what I mean? So I don't dwell on that stuff. And so I remind myself, first of all, I try to be very thankful. I try to wake up every day. Someone said, what if you woke up one day and you only had the things that you thanked God for the day before? Ooh. Thank you for my mama. Thank you for good health. Thank you for air. I thank you that I could breathe. I thank you my feet work. I thank you that my uncle. I thank you for my daddy. I thank you for my, like, I just go on because I'm like, so I just have kind of taken on I just have a thankful, all the time. Like I always try to be thankful.
And all things give thanks.
And everything give thanks. Find the good. When somebody died, thank you for the 27 years that they had. I thank you for the wisdom. I felt like my dad died early, but I thank you that I had him. I felt like I didn't have enough good years with my dad, but I thank you that his wisdom and his love still live with me. I thank you that you rectified before he died. And I think very highly of my dad. Got a wealth of wisdom and knowledge and strength from my father. So I always find reasons to be thankful. So how do I combat that? I just, again, use my words and I just speak life and I speak thankfulness and I just start thinking it. So, he inhabits the praises of his people.
Talk about it.
So when you start thanking God, like he comes and visits you. So that level of peace and that level of contentment that you get far outweighs anything that the enemy is trying to impose on me because of something I don't have.
They may miss that. He inhabits the praise of his people.
Yes.
You said that the minute that I get into a mindset and a heart set of giving him thanks and praising him, that he inhabits the praises of his people. He comes and sits beside you.
It didn't feel like a hug. Oh. Like a good, warm, daddy loves you hug. And so it just started because I legit was like, thank you that my eyes work. Thank you that I can see. Thank you that the birds that are chirping, I don't really want to hear that, but I can hear though. And I thank you that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just literally, and so I have a very friendly relationship with God. So I literally be talking to God like just that. Like, this, God, you so dope, man. Like, I get up every day and do what I love. I thank you. Like, I don't have as much money as some people, but I got my right mind. Like, I don't have the anxiety of chasing the bag. Like, I'm grateful that I'm afforded to do nice things. I'm thankful that I have sisters who love me and my brother supports me and my brother protects me. I don't talk enough of my brother. I love you, Daryl.
Shout out to Daryl.
My brother.
Because I love you said my brother protects me.
Yes. And so maybe I didn't, growing up, whatever. But I'm going to tell you, my brother, my cousins, Dana and Andre, they protect me. Those were my cousins. They were raised with us like brothers as well. And so the baby, listen, don't you play with me. But I just thank God for everything. And that just takes me to a different place. It's not easy to start thanking God when your mood is sucky, because remember the enemy said that today you were going to have a bad day. So he reminded, like he did with your son, he reminded him of all those bad things. But then I just have to think on these things. Whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report. I have to think on. So it don't come naturally. It literally is a battle. But if all I have to do is use my words to be inhabited by God, you know what I'm saying, and to change the atmosphere. Using words ain't gonna kill. You get what I'm saying? It's not gonna be that hard to use words when you think of the effects and what can happen. Yeah. And so I command my morning like that every day by using my words and speaking over myself. Even when the devil say, have a sucky day. Yeah. Because you feel bad, you got cramps, your money ain't where it needs to be, you don't have enough money to pay for this tour that you own, and this didn't happen, and this person is giving you a problem, in this city you didn't sell no tickets in the tour, and you're not like I'm still gonna have a good day. I'm just still gonna have it because.
Let me ask you this, because as you get through the 30s, they always say 30. You start getting 30, you should be married by now or looking at being married. So how are you? Like, what type of stuff did you hear especially going to other people's weddings. Oof. You know, I don't know how many times you may have been the bridesmaid or whatnot, but you're hearing these people. When you gonna get married? Are you dating anybody?
Well, you have too much mouth. That's your problem. You have too much mouth, and that's why you're not married.
So they'll tell you why.
No, the devil adds his part. They'll say their little part. Like,
so they'll ask you why you ain't married yet.
Yeah, well, cool. You know, maybe if you wouldn't say so much. So then that was plenty. So now the devil gonna have a field day with that. See, I told you, you two. And I'm like, but I am talkative, but I use my words for good. So I don't have to not be a strong woman just because you think that strong women are blah, blah, blah. I have not been that. You're assuming that because it's triggering something in you. Yeah. So you don't get to come and make me. And sometimes I may get it wrong, and I want to get it right, but I just you don't get to impose your projecting, but you don't get to do that to me. And so, so when I hear that, it's difficult.
Do you hear it a lot? Or do people kind of just settle because they
people use wisdom in how they approach me, but you still saying what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
What you say? They use wisdom.
Yeah, they use wisdom.
They know what to say, what not to say, and how to say it.
I don't think that I have that. Well, I use wisdom. Like I don't want to be mean to no. I don't want to be harsh. I don't want to be unkind or whatever. But I also remember I told you there was always something in me that stood up for me. But that respect goes both ways. Like I'm just as passionate about, hey, don't say that to him. That may be taken the wrong way. Don't do that, And so when people lose their way, I help them find it,
Do you think it's an unfair question to ask somebody, why aren't you married? It is extreme.
Yeah.
Why aren't you married? Like,
and people be like, why, what? I ain't gonna tell you what my answer is when people say that, because I'll get banned from Instagram again. Cause it's stupid, but yeah, I'm just not married yet. Like it just hasn't happened.
Is that why they banned you from Instagram?
No, I said hoe up under this picture, and I shouldn't have said that. That was unkind. But it was this man who was cussing this lady out hard, like how men fuss at men. You done, and she was on a plane. And she was like, "Are you sick? This man is crazy." Like you could tell she was like, and it was so mean and it was so hard.
And so you commented under you called him that?
HOE could have been health over everything. Instagram, how you gonna tell me? He back to laughing. How you gonna say how? But guess what? Guess why they shut me down before? I said I'ma kill this look. Instagram. That's what black people say. White people say that. Like, you know what I mean? How you going? It was that my goddaughter was saying something, and she's 22. And I said, I'm going to whoop you when I see you. God, for that. Instagram, if you hate me, just say that. Just say I don't like you. Just don't be GooGoo.
Said, GooGoo, you got a mouth.
Yeah, don't be GooGoo. So Instagram might have been right about what they said about me. But no.
We said health over everything.
Health over. How you know? Because I used all caps. It could have been health over everything. I meant hoe. God forgive if anybody offended by that word. But I meant it because I was like, I know this man. Because you wouldn't have talked to no man like that. People that do that to women, they don't talk to men like that.
They so dumb. Oh,
and
God.
most of them don't play with me like that. But he did that to that.
So because you commented on somebody else's stuff?
Yeah, it was on D.L. Hughley page. And I know D.L. Hughley shared my exact sentiments. I know D.L. Hughley ain't complaining. I'm sure he gave me a high five.
So what did Instagram do to your page? They just what?
I mean, they banned it immediately. And I said, and on a serious note, I'm like, all these kids coming up missing, sex traffic and all that, and you found hoe, this grown man is gonna survive off of being called a hoe. He'll live. But it was like 30 seconds later, they was like, and you're banned. And I'm banned until the day before my birthday. I can't go live. I'm being so sweet. I'm being so sweet. So my birthday, I can be free again. That's Instagram's birthday gift to me.
When's your birthday?
May 4th. I'm gonna be free again.
We try to go live.
It say you can't go live because you've been cutting up. It say something.
She was trying to go live. She's like, let's go live today. I said, all right. I said, why? He said, they won't let me go.
And I'm back in trouble again. But I do think, like, you need to learn how we talk. I'm going to kill this look. Please stop. Somebody put fire up under somebody's thing.
Oh, God.
The word fire and got in trouble. Instagram. Hire some more black people. Because that's what we say.
Oh, God. All right. So, listen. You have a tour that you're doing right now. Yes. Talk about that tour.
The Curvy Icon Tour. So, Macy's extended me an opportunity to collaborate with one of its in-house designers bar 3, and the name of this project, if you will, is called Icons of Style. And so the word icon was like my manager, he kept saying, you're an icon, you're an icon. I don't want them to think it's just fashion, like, because a lot of people don't know that I am a speaker. I'm an actress, and I've acted.
See, I know you're an actress.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've ever studied was theater. I don't know. I ain't
You're
studied
theater,
fashion.
baby?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I've done some plays and some movies.
That's my back. My back. I used to tour shows across the country.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Like I even went when David Talbot did. I went to LA because David Talbot was a good friend of mine and one of my mentors. But that's when I saw what's her name? I just drew a blank. It's one of your relatives that was in one of his plays.
Erica?
No. What's Warren Campbell's sister?
Joy Campbell. I saw that play, Love in the Nick of Time.
Love in the Nick of Time, yeah. So I went and saw that show or whatnot, or whatever. And then I saw y'all there at the show or whatnot. So, I used to tour shows across the country for years.
So, and so I did costume design for that. I didn't travel with it because I parted ways, but most of the looks were set by the time I left. But anyway, so so I've done a lot of different things. So my manager was like, and then like I do my glam suites and all this. He was like, and you employ people and you're like an agent to so many different people, and they don't know that every day I get called, I need to get waxed, I'm in Hawaii, I need a haircut, I'm in Chicago, I needed that, and they don't know. He was like, you're an agent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
And then with the glam suites where I'm able to provide hair and makeup services for presenters and performers.
That's
and
good.
I partner with big brands to pay for it all and to get it all done. And so just that whole thing, he was like, see, that's PR. So,
you be doing that?
Yes, I've been doing glam suites for 10 years actually I celebrated 10 years when it was my 11th year because I wasn't counting. And so I was like, let's just make this one 10 years. But I think 2018 was my 11th year doing it. And so I so we have this space where I glam it up. Everything got to be pretty and frilly and all that. So I glammed it all up and decorated it. And so we got all these the tables, the glam chairs or whatever with the lights and all that. So the room is filled with that and balloons and cake and cute stuff and pink stuff and frillies and feathers. And so, but people are coming there getting haircuts. They're getting outfits. I need a belt. I need a girdle. I need a bra. I need a this. My zipper broke. Alterations. Like I hire people. They're just on call all day.
That's dope.
Yeah. To come in for anything that you could possibly need as far as your look for these award shows. And so I've done that for several years. So he was like, you're an icon. And I was like, Jay, nobody's calling themselves an icon. Like icons don't call themselves icons. Like some people do, but icons, like Diana Ross is not saying I'm an icon. Okay. So, but the tour, like it's called Icons of Style.
Yeah,
and I am the curvy designer out of this batch. And so I was like, okay, fine, we'll do the curvy icon tour. So we're just showing up in various cities and I'm shopping with, the people who want to shop when we go shop the line together. And then after that, we go and break bread. So it's a simple tour.
That's dope.
Yep, it's a simple tour to promote my line. You go to my Instagram page and click the link in my bio. I have Vegas coming up on the 1st, LA on the 4th, Orange County on the 7th. I can't think beyond. No. Ooh, boom. Houston on the 14th, St. Louis on the 21st, and Philly that following weekend.
Good.
I jammed. Okay,
good.
memory. Okay.
Yeah, look at that. That's good.
But yeah, my Instagram page, you can click. We're not paying. I'm not charging people to shop. I'm charging them to break bread and key and take pictures and all that.
Yeah.
So the shopping part ain't no meet and greet. We shopping and we're going in there together. And so and then after that we eat together. But if you click the link in my bio, you can buy tickets to each city. Just put your zip code in. And it'll take you to the one that's closest to your city.
So answer this: when you've done this in the when did the tour kick off?
Oh, we started. I don't know. The beginning of April. We started beginning of April. Yeah.
So what has the experience been? What have people been saying?
Well, it's been good. I thought that it would be bigger. I had to call some of my restaurants and say, can you make that reservation just for about half?
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. Either way, I'm still able to go into cities and meet with a lot of people who have admired my style and who are shopping my line, and I'm able to do that with them. And traveling with my team and we're shopping together. What did you ask me?
I said, how's it been going?
Oh, been going good though. Successful.
So answer this. So this is your tour.
This is my tour that I'm paying for. So if anybody want to take on a couple of cities, it's not too late.
Yes, and that's why I wanted to make that point, because we talked about that you're actually paying for this.
Yes.
And when I say I have so much respect for people who bet on themselves, like I did this self-love soiree for Valentine's Day, and my attention was split between getting this land for the Kingdom Royale and doing the event. But I lost $16,000 off of that one day event. And I was like, oh, Jesus,
don't it hurt?
Oh, Jesus, make the pain go away.
Because that could have been a beautiful vacation somewhere.
I'm like, and I'm like, man, this is $16,000. So, but the reality is, I don't want people to feel sorry for me because I'm still gambling on myself.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I'm going to bet on myself.
Same here.
So, and then I learned some things from that when I say, all right, I'm going to do it bigger and I'm going to do it better and I'm going to get sponsorship wrapped around it and all that. And so what I say to you is that I'm so proud of you. The fact that you even said, hey, yeah, it's not working the way that we wanted to anticipate, but that's the learning curve.
Yes.
You're learning and you'll get better and better. And then these days right here there'll be a faint memory.
Absolutely.
Because it'll have blown up so big that you be like, I forgot when I used to actually struggle in the first few cities. You're like, well, we're doing good.
Right. And I'm always thankful every step. Like, you don't just land there. You have to work to get there. And my glam suites are packed out. I can't even hardly take people, but I've been doing it for however many years.
Yeah.
So if I got to cut them numbers down, guess what? I'm still on tour. I'm still able to gather content that's good for social media.
Yes.
I'm still meeting incredible people in these cities, shopping my line. I go into Macy's. I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's my line. You know what I mean? I'm able to do that. And we
can't just slide by that. You said you got a line in Macy's?
Yes. It's GooGoo for bar 3. Yes. God is good.
When I say these queens they be throning. Like I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So make sure y'all go support the line. Even if the tour isn't coming to your city, go into Macy's, pick up some stuff, buy some stuff. So because what happens is that when they see that it's getting a large support, then they'll keep buying more inventories to keep opening up bigger deals for her. So make sure that, and that's what I'm talking about.
And people like me, like the other designers that are out there killing it. I was telling somebody, just because the Bible says rejoice with him that rejoice. It didn't say you're going to want to rejoice, because of course the devil's going to say the negative. Yeah. And he's gonna tell you, well, when you gonna get your turn, when you gonna blah, blah, blah. Okay, I gotta tell you the testimony about how I got my line.
Talk about it.
All right, so I walked into Macy's. Excuse me. And so I walked into Macy's and I saw Zarina Akers and Misa Hilton, like big old posters. I was like, what the heck? Like these black women, and I'm just excited, like, oh my God, they're at Macy's or whatever. And then like no sooner than I said that, the enemy comes with his ideas. Well, when you gonna get your turn? You've been in the business 19 years. When you gonna get, this is my 20th year in fashion, by the way, this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But at the time it was my 19th. And when you gonna get your turn? And I mean, they got a line, but you've been doing this for something. And you weren't just a stylist. People don't know that. You're a writer and you a fashion contributor, and you have a web series, and you an influencer, and you know what I mean? You've had vlogs, and you've done all this stuff in fashion, radio, and stuff like that. And so, and just negative, right? And I'm annoyed because I let that.
Hold on, let me just say this real quick. I want y'all to hear this. Even while the devil is trying to compare you, he's also affirming you. You just went down a whole resume of things to give God glory for. Just think about that. But we got to think about how we take it. When the devil starts telling you all your accomplishment and then say, and you don't have this. But that's where we should rejoice and say, but thank you for just running through my resume, because you done said I done did this. And I'm like, well, God, no. Like, I'm hearing the positive
stuff, and it's crazy because some stuff I did intentionally. And I said, I'm going to contribute to Serving Up Soul Radio for a year. I'm going to contribute to Gospel Today magazine, a very established magazine, for a year. I want to be the fashion contributor because I want to say that I wrote. Yes. I want to, as an influencer, I want to be able to blog and vlog so that I can say I did that. When I did my web series, I want to do this web series the way I do it because I want to say I worked in all of these different areas in the fashion industry. So I'm standing in Macy's and I'm like, when is it your turn? And so I bought the stuff, and then I got mad because I'm like, oh my God, why did you just think that? Why did you just, first of all, that wasn't even your thought. Like you came in here excited, feeling like, look at us black girls out here winning.
Yeah.
And the devil just came and perverted it. Again, he always drops these ideas and we just take them on like they truth. He mixed a little bit with a lie.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth with a lie.
Yeah.
If one teeny drop in a whole ocean of truth, if a one teeny drop of lie get in there, the whole thing is a lie.
Yep.
So he throws that in there and he uses certain things that are true to kind of lure me in to see things his way. And I believe he does that in so many other areas.
Yes.
You are blah, blah, blah because you thought this. You are blah, blah, blah because you felt this. You are a blah, blah, blah because you did this. I don't care what I did. I'm who God says I am.
Talk about it.
So I'm not no hater. I'm not, I celebrate women. I'm not jealous. I'm not envious of other people. How dare you come and bring your thoughts and try to impose my headspace in my headspace with your ugly thoughts. Those are not my thoughts. And I'm going back to my original thought, which was celebrating these beautiful black women who have worked hard enough to get into these stores. And I don't care if they didn't work hard. I don't care. It's their turn. The Bible says, rejoice with them that rejoice. It didn't say you are going to want to rejoice with them that rejoice. Sometimes you got to rejoice with people that got what you want. God got more than one.
I always say this too, and they've heard me say this, is that I sow where I want to go. And so it's good that you end up buying the product because you say, listen, this is what I want. I'm going to go ahead and buy it too. And that's what I always believe in. I talked about this, that on my podcast back in 2020, I paid for and I had some sponsors step up. And we paid for 3 couples to get married during the pandemic. It was called Black Love Matters, the ceremony. But I did that because I said, I'm going to sow seeds and blessing some other people getting married who weren't in the financial position to do it, because I want, when it's time for me to get married, I want a sponsor to come and be like, we're going to give you your dream wedding. And we're going to pay for this $100,000 wedding, and here it is. And it'd be like, thank you, Lord.
And it's still nice to be nice.
I'm trying to tell you.
It's still nice.
Just bless people.
It feels good to
just
be
to
kind
bless people.
and to make a difference. Like you have these resources and that is finances and it just changed the biggest day of a person's life. You were able to contribute to that.
Yes.
All right, so back to Macy's. So as an influencer, we get paid 5 figures on my page to post, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, well, if Macy's want me to post, then I'll, PR thing, and they could, and you could pay me about it. Now, so now I'm just trying to finagle my way out of celebrating these women. Well, the devil trying to make me finagle my way out of celebrating these women. Yeah. I mean, if they want to pay for it, they can pay for it. Because I charge. I mean, that's cool. But I mean, I charge. And so if they want to be on my page, because I already know people are going to buy it if I put it on my page because I'm an influencer. So, and I just went home and I said, I ain't doing none of that. Just because you tried to make me not celebrate. I wasn't fully being a hater because I was mixing I should be having a turn. Yeah. Nope. I ain't agreeing with none of that. And I'm going back to my original statement. I'm celebrating these women. I ain't charging nobody for no post. I'm not, because you tried to pervert it. Now I got to go hard in the other direction.
Yes.
So made this post, talked about how beautiful the line was, how it made me feel. I went back to being that black girl who didn't feel like I had a lot of opportunities, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking like they did it, So I posted it, and let me speed up. 5 days later, I was signing my contract because Macy saw it. Because Zarina Akers said, hey, I think you should pay. I don't know if I had been following Zarina Akers. She styles Beyonce. And I don't know if she was following me back or not, but she told somebody, hey, can you give me Goo's contact? Because I want to hand it over to Macy's. She handed it over to Macy's. She did not say, let her know that I did it. And where's my thank you? I didn't even meet up with her. I got my deal in like August. I didn't meet up with her until New Year's this year. And I finally was able to give her a hardcore thank you. Like, why did you do this? You know what I mean? Like, you didn't know me. So, but it all stemmed from me saying, no, I'm going to rejoice with them that rejoice. So the devil wants you to not do things God's way because he knows it's always going to be difficult because he knows a lot of times the blessing that's attached to it. I wasn't doing it for no blessing. I wasn't doing it to be seen. I had a good mind to know that Macy's might see it. I never thought that was going to happen. Oh, no. Ever. Both the ladies came to my page and thanked me and was just really gracious and kind. And I got a contract because I did what the Bible told me to do, which was rejoice.
5 days later.
5 days later, I was signing. 2 days later, I was contacted. And a total of 5 days later, I was signing the contract.
Number 5 stands for grace. When I tell you, man, when I say
Ain't
God,
that strategic?
God
Jesus.
is just, and number 2 stands for witness. But that's what's so crazy. It's like God just be like, I got you.
I got you.
I got you.
Just do what I said.
Just do it. Just do it. And God says he loves a cheerful giver.
Yes.
And so when you are cheerfully giving and saying, I'm going to go ahead and give this endorsement or this, giving a spotlight through your influencing, then God says, I got you too. I needed you to do that in order to get here. But if you did not do that, you were never going to get there.
You were never. And then the Bible don't say this, but it's like I said, it's still nice to be nice. Like sometimes we think, they have money or they this. I don't have to. My little blah 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 is not gonna matter. I'm not doing it because I'm doing it because that's what I do.
That's what I do.
If you disrespectful and you unkind, you can be that. But I'm respectful and I'm not. I'm not gonna keep running, jumping up in your face. But I don't have to return that to you. Because I don't do that. So with that being said, be kind and give and show love because that's what I do. And don't say, oh, it's not going to matter because they're so big. I have some people saying that sometimes to me, well, I didn't say nothing because I didn't think you was going to see it. But do it because you do it.
Listen, make sure y'all go to GooGoo's Instagram.
Yes.
Gosh, I love talking to you. Follow her. Go click on the link. Is it Linktree? What you got in your bio?
In my bio, the Eventbrite.
Yeah, the Eventbrite, the tours to find out the city that you live in or driving distance from where you are. Go there, go in her face and be like, I heard you on the Dear Future Wifey podcast. So she'd be like, wow. So she already know the familiarity. Man.
I wanted to say something. So I have 3 drops. I have another drop that's coming out in July and another that's coming in October.
What you got? Another drop of
my line. I have more designs coming out. Yep. So I got one coming out for the summer and one coming out for the winter. And so, excuse me. So if you don't see your city now, like Dallas keeps saying, where Dallas at? Because Dallas know I love them. Chicago, y'all know I love y'all. So if you don't see your city on this one, it may be on the next drop. And then,
and comment. The way you do that is you go and comment under the post or anything or whatever. When you come into Denver, when you come into this, and when they see those names hitting a lot, then when they're shaping the tour together, it's called routing. When they're putting the routing together, they go, okay, we see Denver coming here a lot. We see Chicago, Atlanta, whatever it is, they'll start seeing. They're like, we need to go there. And it's as simple as that.
And especially if you say, you know what, and by the way, my uncle got a barbecue spot, so for the break bread part, just roll over to my uncle's spot.
That's how you do it.
Because you just made it more convenient for me.
Well, I tell you, when we putting these tours together, it's a lot of work, and anything that you can just help and be like, took the guesswork out of that. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah,
we've been needing it all.
This airport is right by the this hotel is right by the airport. Stuff like that. Like, this is where we can get blah blah blah. Park for free in this city. All that kind of stuff.
Oh, it be helping, boy. When I bring back the memories when touring across the country.
That's what I was thinking of. Tour buses and stuff.
Yeah, tour buses. I was like, Lord Jesus, all that matters. Well, listen, GooGoo. I've enjoyed talking to you. It was great that people could hear, basically how we talk on the phone.
This is how we talk on the phone. Yep.
So just to hear, and I hope you guys found a lot of value out of it. I love the gems that you've been dropping. And listen, I love the outlook that you have on the Bible says, I know how to abase and how to abound. I know how to live with and live without. And this whole conversation has been that. You say, and even if I don't have kids, God has still been good to me. And I'm going to go ahead and adopt. And even if I don't get, I'm still going to do this because I deserve death on the cross. And everything else is a bonus. Everything else is grace. Everything else is God's goodness. Everything else is just blessings upon blessings upon blessings. And so that's what's so beautiful about it, is that your outlook and your perspective. So yeah, keep queening, keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. Yeah, hey, y'all give it up for my homie, GooGoo Atkins, y'all.
Thank you.
Ladarian thrusted suddenly into Child Protective Services in 2015. My nephew, Black, a boy. The likelihood of being adopted outside of kinship, slim to none. Armani, 16 years old, Black, a boy, with 5 years in the foster care system before I even knew his name. The likelihood of ever being adopted, yep, you guessed it, slim to none. While Ladarian and Armani were trying to survive and barely thrive in an overpopulated and underfunded foster care system, I was living my own life, doing well professionally. Having been a single father with a daughter who at that point was doing well in college, it was my time to live my life, right? Wrong. I felt unsettled, tireless, agitated. There are just too many of our Black children stuck in ambiguity and in the limbo of the foster care system. In 2017, I legally adopted my nephew, Ladarian. Fast forward to 2019, I had no ties to this other young king, but I felt God instructed me to adopt him also, and I obeyed. Starting over with parenting should have been enough, right? Working with various foster care and adoption agencies to help bring awareness to the countless young Black kings in the foster care system should have decreased my agitation, right? Joining the board of directors of Advantage Adoption, an organization that helps find permanent adoptive homes for children in foster care, should have led to some type of resolve, right? No, not at all. None of it felt like I had done enough. I now realize that every one of those experiences was laying the fundamental foundation for my life's mission, Kingdom Royale. Kingdom Royale will be a luxury, state-of-the-art home for foster boys. Our first location will be in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We will utilize the whole person approach that instills identity, empowers them to advocate for themselves, and enlightens them regarding new perspectives and limitless options that they thought were impossible. Though the young kings will attend the local public schools that are in proximity to Kingdom Royale, our at-home curriculum will broaden their worldview through participating in the arts, attending various cultural events, learning about and engaging in multifaceted discussions about current events and even relevant historical context, introducing them to gardening and landscaping and even caring for our animals on our farm and on-site stables. We just launched our Startup Capital campaign with the goal of raising $2.8 million. Now, why $2.8 million? Well, in 2017, I created a web series in which I performed random acts of kindness for targeting the homeless community. One of the most notable successes was that one of the videos went viral, garnering 28 million views. However, one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't raise a single dollar to help in implementing a more sustainable plan for the homeless community. So throughout the years, with much remorse, I reflected on not maximizing that moment. I knew if at that time, just 10% of the viewers donated $1, we would have raised at least $2.8 million that could have really established long-term support for the homeless community, or at least started a long-term initiative to do so. This is my do-over. This is our new beginning. Together, we can attack this at the root by specifically helping our homeless Black boys who are already disproportionately represented in the American foster care system. I'm Laterras R. Whitfield. I've been nominated for 3 regional Emmys documenting my work with the homeless as well as my personal adoption journey. Despite those accolades, the greatest award for me is truly providing the infrastructure for a transformed life. Visit kingdomroyale.com for more details. Crown a king and make a donation today.
Man, I really enjoyed talking to GooGoo, man. That was a powerful conversation. God is so strategic in who he uses and chooses to be on the Dear Future Wifey podcast, so I never take that for granted. So shout out to you, GooGoo, for just being who you are. Here's my favorite part of the podcast where I speak to my future wifey. Dear Future Wifey, guard your ears from haters who will try to destroy our covenant. Guard your ears from negative things you may even say about yourself. Guard your ears from lies the enemy will tell you that you're not enough for me. You are more than enough. I will energize you with words of affirmations that will travel through your ear gates and take residence in your soul. I will become a puppet and allow the Lord to be my ventriloquist and speak his word over your life. I will never punish you with silent treatments as a way of manipulation. Guard your ears from the influence of media to prevent your mind from being contaminated by false teachings. However, don't guard your ears from me nibbling and sucking on your earlobes. Your future hubby. Thank you for listening to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. Remember, be lit, live intentionally and transparently, and don't stop loving. Make sure to subscribe to our Dear Future Wifey YouTube channel. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. We welcome your support. Simply share our podcast with your friends and family.